Yo, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Hot Chocolate News. Listen, you know why? Because your girl is hot chocolate. What? What? You see it? You see it? Anyway, welcome to another edition. Let me scoot up because we got to get into today's news. Now, listen, I have not had a time or a chance to peruse today's news headlines, but I think that's the fun part. Let's explore the headlines and these emails together. But anyway, let me introduce myself. Okay. First of all, let's fix ourselves. All right. You already know. Do I got on earrings? Okay. I am the Black Girl Magic Master herself, Chiquila. Yes, Mama had high ideas. Now, okay, know what I'm saying? Now listen, Mama had high ideas, and I am the CEO of this mobile minority tech company called Black Girl Magic Masters. Yes, LLC. And what we do is we provide all the useful services, bringing all my lived experiences to the game. And I'm pursuing my doctorate in business administration or general management, business management, period. But I'm going to be a doctor in it because I have a bachelor's from Wilberforce University, organizational management, a master's degree from DeVry Keller Graduate School of Management in Business Management. That's my master's. That's when I made the business Black Girl Magic Masters. Anyway, because everybody was just now starting to get into the vibe of what a Black Girl Magic was. And I was going to let y'all know this is it. This is it. Excellence. Read the motherfucking fine. Oh, yes. And the Lord is still working with me. However, I am a devout, virtuous woman. Okay. I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. But I do come from the AME church, and I'm rocking my WMS blue today. Anyway, AMEs, proud to be. And I am going to get into today's headlines. All right, it's enough of that. It's enough of me. All right, so, I love it when they're like, I'm eligible for an opportunity for cash. But anyway, last night before I went to sleep, I noticed that I was getting these strange little emails last night. You know, like, hey, before you go to sleep, here, I want you to hear something. So let's talk about, so this was last night, y'all. I want y'all to hear what was going on last night at about 8:05 p.m. I was getting a business nightcap from CNN. And this is what it started off. It said, tonight, an ode to the chaotic beauty that was the 90s Bed, Bath, and Beyond Plus. Some boozy news. So let's get into it, shall we? Now, this is by Allison Morrow. I adore this lady, okay? All right, so stop me if you heard this one before. This is how the article reads. Now, listen, y'all, I'm reading verbatim. Now, I might throw a little bit of my own little situation in there, but you can look at these headlines too. This is from CNN. All right, I get my news from CNN, Morning Scoop, Morning Brew, CFO Brew. But this one is CNN Business Nightcap, right? And she goes on to say, stop me if you heard this one before. Bed, Bath & Beyond is in deep trouble. Maybe it seems like you've read that headline about 100 times. Because you have. And it remains true. So here's the deal. She goes on to say, this is Allison Morrow. She goes on to say that shares have tumbled more than 20% Wednesday after the company announced layoffs and store closures in the latest effort to right the ship. She said it's laying off around 20% of its staff. It'll close about 150 of its roughly 950 brick and mortar stores. And to keep the lights on, Bed Bath & Beyond secured a financial lifeline of $500 million, a sizable loan that it hopes it will buy it some time to at least keep vendors from rushing to the exit signs. All right, because they're already there. It's too little, too late. Like I said, this was last night before I went to sleep. This was my nightcap at 8:05. Y'all listen. And she goes on to say, here's what the interim CEO of Bed Bath Beyond had to say. He said that we are embracing a straightforward back to basics philosophy that focuses on better serving our customers, driving growth, and delivering business returns. Why does that sound like a template? Anyway, not everyone shares her optimism. One analyst called the turnaround plan the prototypical rearrangement of the deck chairs and on the Titanic. Now, Allison said my colleagues Jordan Valinsky and Nathaniel Meyerson report that. Anyway, so what happened to the Bed Bath and Beyond, the BB&B? Well, here's a few thoughts. Volume is out. Curation is in. So going into a physical Bed Bath and Beyond store in the 90s was the adult equivalent of touring the Wonka factory. My God, you know what I'm saying? You could get lost in mountains of bath mates and cutlery and good grips and every, as seen on TV, device your little 30-something heart could have desired. Ain't that the truth? Now, listen, it was the internet store before Amazon. I'm sorry, the internet. A bit everything, everywhere, all at once, right? So, point number 2 that Allison Morrill is bringing up as to why this is happening to Bed Bath & Beyond and her few thoughts saying that volume is out but curation is in. She says, point 2, the problem with abundance is that overwhelmingly, especially once you're used to just typing what you need into a search bar and letting the machines find it all for you, no one wants to sort through 300 shower curtains to find the one that they like. Oh my God. So coupons went out of fashion, Bed Bath & Beyond. Come on. Bed Bath & Beyond was a discount shopper's dream. Once upon a time, it had a million different brands and won a loyal consumer base with its coupon strategy that often rewarded shoppers with 20% off or more. So now those discounts are readily found online. Retail me not. Thank you so much. Raw cotton. Anyway, Bed Bath & Beyond was far. So those discounts are readily found online. And yeah, BB&B is far behind the e-commerce curve, just like Blockbuster was. What is it with these names that start with a B? We're changing our name. Curve compared to rivals like Target and Amazon. All right, so discounts basically has its limits, people. Bed Bath & Beyond has been a long destination for basically the premium brands, which, you know, don't like being sullied by red line discounts. You know what I'm saying? The vendors ain't feeling that ish. You know what I'm saying? Per our analyst at CNN, this is what Allison Morrill was reporting. If you're a Dyson or a Keurig and you're trying to maintain a halo over your brand, the last thing you want is somebody discounting that ish. You know what I'm saying? The meme stock mess is also a point that Allison Morrill brings up. She says that Bed Bath & Beyond shares, they got a big boost this spring when Ryan Cohen, the co-founder of Chewy.com, took a controlling stake, you know what I'm saying, among non-professional online investors. And we say Chewy.com is because that's a no-brainer. Everybody wants to make sure that their pets have just as much access to the products they need like we do at Walmart. So anyway, he took a controlling stake into the Bed Bath & Beyond. And among non-professional online investors, Cohen carries a mark of credibility as a vanguard of the GameStop rally that happened early 2021. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? His followers basically piled all their money into the stock, thinking that they would be their hero work, you know, and their hero was just going to work some kind of magic and use his shareholder power to force change in the company. But, you know, just 5 months later, Cohen bailed out, selling his entire stake and basically netting his $60 million profit off of it. I mean, it almost felt like insider trading. But anyway, why? See, Cohen's not even saying. He's leaving others to speculate that he felt the company either couldn't be saved or wasn't worth the effort. So what's next for BB&B, Bed Bath & Beyond? First, a lot of pain for the employees. Vendors will likely be reassured by cash infusion, you know, that $500 million we just reported. But at the end of the day, the company still has a lot of debt, and you still need to have some retained earnings. You still need to have some gross profit margins. You still need to have some net profits and some cash flow. That's what we need to see. And it's a difficult time with inflation eating into demand for home goods. No, it's not. And supplies. No, it's not. And change. No, it's not. Still untangling themselves, because for any retailer to undergo the kind of extreme makeover Bed Bath Beyond needs, this inflation is going to basically eat into their demand, is what Morrell is saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I thoroughly disagree, because for real, well, I got degrees in it, so I don't know. But anyway, let's continue on with this news that I was getting before I went to sleep last night, because we ain't even got to the coffee. We ain't even got to the morning news, the hot chocolate news. This is some old nightcap news. Anyway, the number of yesterday was 132,000, which was the private sector added 132,000 jobs in August. So ADP, ADP reported this Wednesday, which is far fewer than the 268,000 jobs added in July, indicating that the white hot pace of the U.S. hiring basically could be slowing. I'm glad I didn't read this before I went to sleep. According to this payroll data, economists have forecasted that August figures will be around about, as far as jobs added, 225,000. You know what I'm saying? But it's far fewer than the 268,000 that they really wanted to add as far as the private sector. So there was a quote here that says, we could be at an inflection point from supercharged job gains to something more normal. This is what Neela Richardson, chief economist at ADP. Now, her name is quite close to my name, which is Shaquilla Richardson. They call me Kayla Richardson. But Neela Richardson, chief economist. Oh my God, I gotta take some coffee. I'm gonna let that digest for a second. For ADP, which tracks the private sector hiring, she says, my takeaway from these numbers is that companies are slowing their additional head count. You know what I'm saying? Heads up. The ADP report has historically come out on the Wednesday before the government officially has its monthly jobs report. And this typically has been seen as a preview of what's to come. But in recent years, the ADP and other people like it that are taking all of these kind of metrics from the people, the payroll directly, is that what we've reduced ourselves to? Are y'all not seeing the change? We are letting them be better than these other fancy little financial tools that Bloomberg indices be talking about. Huh? Talk about it, Tom. Huh? Talk about it, Jonathan. I just read Allison's little thing. I'm me and Allison, we cool. We here. Anyway, I digress. Tune in Friday to see how it all stacks up again against this official report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, is all I gotta say. So bottoms up here at Nightcap that I'm reading in the morning from CNN. They say they love a smooth finish. So let's end on a slightly sweeter note. All right, give it to me, because I would have not been able to take it. They said that the bourbon boom has been going strong. Y'all remember there was rumors of there being a libation desert going on, and that was not the G. That was not the G. You know what I'm saying? Me and Kasami, we know that was not the G. So anyway, the bourbon boom has been going strong according to the CNN Nightcap report. And the earnings this week suggest that Wall Street is wild about whiskey. Now, this is what her colleagues Paul R.L. LaMonica writes. Now, Brown-Forman, which owns Jack Daniels, reported earnings that handily topped forecasts. Sales were up 11% to $1 billion, surpassing the estimated $978 million. Profits surged 30% to $249 million, or 52 cents a share. Analysts were predicting earnings of only about 47 cents a share. See, that is what they need, Bed Bath & Beyond. That's what Bed Bath & Beyond. They want to see those kinds of numbers. They want to see the sales up. They want to see the profits up. Now, honestly, I'm gonna tell you one thing about sales. The more sales you have, the more your cost of goods sold is. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that our sales and our cost of goods sold are not really just going to parallel. We really want to just keep that kind of just like, you know what I'm saying? We want to keep that real, you know. Anyway, so inflation, ishmation. Even though costs are going up everywhere, consumers seem willing to splurge on the higher priced bourbons such as the Woodford Reserve, and the Old Forester, also owned by Brown-Forman. Sales of those premium spirits were up to about 35% from a year ago. The reason in 2022 may be marked by anxiety about recessions and surging prices, but there's some extent to which Americans are saying, YOLO, let's get drunk. You know what I'm saying? But Brown-Forman noted that the strong demand for the booze at airports and on cruise ships helped lift its sales. You know what I'm saying? You go where the people, Chewy.com, and people need to get drunk during hard times. Also popular is the cocktail in the can innovation that finally made pre-mixed Jack and Coke into a potable. You know what I'm saying? So, shares of the Brown-Forman rose slightly Wednesday, and the stock has gained about 10% in the past 3 months. And even as the broader market has tumbled, it has been going up. So notably, beer stocks such as Anheuser-Busch and Molson Coors have been, shall we say, less frothy. All right, what else is going on? What else was going on last night? California lawmakers wanted more control over how fast food chains treat their workers. Restaurants, including McDonald's, are fighting back. The Wing, the once boozy social club and luxury co-working community geared towards women, has shut down all of its locations. I didn't even know it existed. Had I known this, maybe it would be Anyway, I need to read into that one. Also, what else is going on in the CNN nightcap news that we didn't read last night, but we're reading this morning before we do the morning brew? Some of the biggest stars at Fox News have been deposed in recent days as part of a Dominion voting system $1.6 billion lawsuit against the network begins. Also, what else is going on? Because we're moving right along, because we don't really need that Republican issues now right now. We don't need to be thinking anything Republican that's negative. Snapchat, oh man, is laying off more than 1,200 of its staffers, or 20% of its global headcount. Whoa. What's the tweet of today? What was the tweet of yesterday? Not the most important point, but what's the deal with the carpeting at Mar-a-Lago? So, what did y'all think about last night's nightcap from CNN? All right, that was so it's sensitive, says Morning Brew. It's sensitive, says Morning Brew. Full disclosure, Morning Brew says, and this is full disclosure, Morning Brew is writing. We wrote a draft of this intro paying tribute to Serena Williams' legendary career, assuming that she fall to the number 2 ranked player in the world, Annette Contaviet. Well, she won. Bitches! We come to you with our hats. With our hats and hands. And this humble reminder, never, not even in an internal draft, bet against Serena Williams. And that's brought to you by Maddie Merritt, Abby Rubenstein, Jamie Wild, and Neil Freeman. All right, let's get into more Morning Brew news. Yo, let me see how I'm looking with this hat on, because we might have to keep it on. Yeah, no. Shot. Okay, we might have to rock it. Yeah. Yeah, let's go. We're going to finish Yo, this is my morning news. This hot chocolate. This been in the car. I'm like, let me take it out the car, and now look at me. Look at me. All right, well, we're gonna go with it. So, as we continue on with this morning brew news. Yeah. All right, so the markets. According to Morning Brew this morning, September 1st, 2022. Yo. Okay, the markets. Ooh. Hey, Bitcoin is up. Ooh, Snapchat went up. And that 10-year yield is still doing good. It's up 8.2 basis points. Okay, so this is basically stock data as a market close. This was that cryptocurrency data as of 11 p.m. Eastern last night. So, but here's what those numbers meant. That's a wrap. Books closed on August. Stock started out super hot to begin the month, but lost the Leo energy towards the end and closed out August with a 4-day losing streak. Snap shares popped after the company confirmed it was laying off 20% of its staff as part of a broader reconstructuring plan that aims to save $500 million in annual costs. So now, Morning Brew is reporting on something called public safety. What exactly is Times Square? Well, that's the place where Andy Cohen drunkenly rings in the new year. And this is what Morning Brew is reporting. Basically, they said the location of the best Italian restaurant in New York City, Olive Garden, actually figuring it out has never been more timely or important. Here's why. A New York law banning guns in sensitive places goes into effect today. But lawmakers had a tough time defining one sensitive area's precise boundaries. Times Square. Which is visited by about 360,000 pedestrians daily. You know what I'm saying? With Times Square being more of a tourist fever dream than a place with hard physical boundaries, the city council found itself wrangling it over whether or not exactly to hang up gun-free zone signs. So New York implemented this law after a major Supreme Court ruling in June, and it deemed it unconstitutional for New York and 5 other states to require concealed carry applicants to prove proper cause for their permits. So New York's new law establishes certain areas where gun owners can and can't carry their weapons. So that's schools, public transit, that's the government buildings, that's parks, that's everywhere and anywhere. And anywhere that serves alcohol. All these places, everything in New York is off limits. I don't know. Did they go around it? Because it sounds like it did to me. So I'm sorry. That was my little interjection. See, that's my interjection. That's not Morning Brew's little interjection. So now I'm continuing. You will have to read the article to see where I stop. Anyway, as for Times Square, there are a few no gun toting exceptions for people who live, work, or are just walking through in a continuous uninterrupted fashion. You know what I'm saying? Other states have responded to the SCOTUS ruling by enacting new gun restrictions. So Massachusetts passed a law this month that requires the gun permit applicants to do personal interviews. New Jersey passed a slew of gun control measures in July, including mandating firearm training, mandating that shit for gun permit seekers, and empowering the state to sue your firearm manufacturer ass over gun crimes that happen in New Jersey. Now, looking ahead, back in New York, gun right activists are already challenging law in court. So the law dissolved by SCOTUS was put in place about 109 years ago. So when Times Square had a lot fewer than I love you New York shirts grounded into the pavement. You know what I'm saying? So its new gun control measures are far from set in stone, shall we say. Now, also, Morning Brew goes on to say that, we need to tour the headlines. And they go on to say that the FDA signs off on the Omicron boosters. Booster shots targeting Omicron, the BA4 and BA5, the dominant COVID strains that's in the United States at the moment. From both Moderna and Pfizer Biotech are likely to be available for for free within days, okay? Once the CDC gives it its blessings. But the updates to the shops are the first approved changes to the mRNA vaccine since they came out in December 2020. So to get the jabs to the public faster, the FDA took the unusual step of giving the green light before receiving human trial data. Now, we are going there. We are going there. Now, I just did a report back when I was in my undergrad at Wilberforce University on the fact that it took years. What was it, Rico? Anyway, I cannot take it. So, yeah, like I said, the FDA took the unusual step of giving the green light before receiving human trial data on the effectiveness of the change vaccine. So, anyway, U.S. life expectancy, well, that nearly fell a year in 2021. So basically only by a year. The estimated American lifespan plunged last year to about, you're only probably going to make it to, 76 in 1 month. So plan wisely. Dropping for the second consecutive year, or call me so that we can make sure if you got some loved ones you want to take care of, I'm your girl. Call me, hit me up, message me, and I'll get back to you. As long as it ain't on no weird stuff, you already know. So anyway, yeah, life expectancy has dipped by almost 3 years since the pandemic began in 2020. The biggest 2-year decline in nearly 100 years, people. But COVID only shoulders about half the blame for the 2021 decline. The CDC also said, with other factors like death from accidental injuries, including drug overdoses, that also played a role. I know my state certainly focuses on it here in Ohio. Ain't that right, DeWine? Anyway, also being reported by Morning Brew News is that much Instagrammed co-working company, The Wing, closes all locations. So this is an all-female club network known for its feminist theme marketing and millennial pink walls. Emailed members Tuesday night to announce the immediate permanent shutdown of its six remaining locations. The once buzzy and pricey club started to falter as the pandemic forced closures of all locations, and its original CEO resigned amid allegations of workplace racism before the company was sold to an office space provider. Really? I don't got no sympathy for you now. No word yet on what will happen. All that jealousy-inducing furniture. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, in entertainment news, Bezos, the Gray, he bets it all on this Middle Earth situation, Lord of the Rings situation. Y'all see it in the Bezos the Gray. He's believing in it. So if you ever wanted to escape to a faraway land full of hot I can't fucking take it. Oh my God. Okay, let me let me try to read this now, y'all. Y'all know this is my first read of the morning. Oh, Jesus. All right. Okay. Y'all, this supposed to be serious news. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to an extent, because I only subscribe to that news that, I guess do this to me because I got a weird sense of humor. But, y'all, let me regather myself because Morning Brew is on one this morning. Oh, my word. Let me get the girls together. Okay. All right, let's attempt this one more time. I don't know. I don't think I could ever work for nobody's real news unless they allow for flexibility as such. Anyway, Let's start from the entertainment headlines. Whew. All right, I think I got out. Bezos the Great bets it all on Middle Earth. I don't think I got it out. Y'all just gonna have to bear with my muffin ass today. So if you ever wanted to escape to a faraway land, I got the gift. I can read, right? I can read before I get there anyway. So I'm sorry. I just wait till y'all hear this. If you ever wanted to escape to a faraway, I might have to come back. I wanted to do this in 30 fucking minutes today. Oh my God. Morning brew. All right. If you ever wanted to escape to a faraway land full of hot, long-haired blonde people without buying a plane ticket to Sweden, there's never been a better opportunity. This evening, less than 2 weeks after HBO released its Game of Thrones prequel, Amazon Prime Video will drop the first 2 episodes of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, the uber pricey Middle Earth CGI extravaganza. Yes, how pricey? Oh, just the most expensive. Literally, we should expect 2 Chainz to drop the pen. Drop the pen to Teddy boy. Listen. Yeah, it's only the most extreme TV series of all time. All time, people. And when combining the cost to buy the rights to the IP was $250 million, with the cost of the first season $465 million, you get my birthday, $715 million. I mean, to put that in perspective, people, that's the equivalent to $5.1 million in annual Prime subscriptions. And this is per the Wall Street Journal. You know what I'm saying? The OG Lord of the Rings trilogy cost director Peter Jackson $281 million to make, not adjusted for inflation. Okay, so to justify this price tag, Amazon execs are saying that they need to lay an unshakable foundation for what will become a sprawling Middle Earth franchise in the vein of Disney's Star Wars, or what Netflix is trying to do with Stranger Things, or what your boy Zuckerberg is trying to do with the metaverse. Come on, millionaires! Bottom line, with the Ring of Power, Amazon is trying to nab the mega hit its streaming service has never had. It's so important to the company that former CEO Jeff Bezos, who is the quintessential Lord of the Rings nerd, basically made a surprise appearance at the global premiere this week. I sense a reconnection. Are we feeling reconnection? Anyway, let's go on. Yo. People. Now, as far as education, y'all know I'm an education buff. Like I said, I am pursuing my doctorate, and my dissertation practice is basically making sure that financial literacy is a part of all public school curriculum. Yeah, I mean, they could do all they want to do after hearing my idea, but I'm about to be coming right around with my muffin degree and putting my goddamn stamp of approval on it, biters. But I need y'all to bite because that's how much I need this to be a part of our curriculum in America. I don't care about no so-called ideas being stolen or anything like that, because what God has for me, trust me, it is for me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and I return to sender all negative energies or all negative intentions times 10. So anyway, by the power of the Holy Spirit, show me how good it get, Lord. Listen, let me tell you something. When I tell you, it is very important and imperative for us to get this financial literacy portion together to update our fucking skilled labor force to the 21st century needed skills. You know what I'm saying? It's imperative. So yes, by the way, take it. Go ahead, take this idea you all lacking of authenticity type of institutions. Our educational programs and situations have been the slowest to catch on to anything. You know why? Because all institutional functions that literally are responsible for training, they're all one giant high school of politics. And until we get that together and address the politics in education, because it's not about who knows what and who's implying things, it's really about who like you. So any educator, any staff member, anybody that work in a school building, I applaud you because you are in high school for the rest of your career because your benefits are tied to that. See me if you want to get from up under that nasty ass weed, because you can educate these children on your own. If you really one of those educators like myself, you'll educate your neighborhood children. You go to the free spots that's nonprofit already. You don't need to be there, but you know what you think? You thought you needed those benefits, and look at you, you're stuck in a downward spike. You'll never have enough money. That type of job is just over broke. Yes, school worker people, listen, like I said, if you really believe in children, you would really figure out what to really do with your educational experience and really pour into those disadvantaged, marginalized. And anyway, I just digress. But anyway, as far as Morning Brew is concerned, because let's get back to the Morning Brew news, they're bringing up some education. They're saying that fraternities become universities' GDIs. Well, it says colleges starting back up, and soon tens of thousands of students will descend on Greek houses around the U.S. to schmooze their way into the lettered sweatshirt. But at many schools, students signed up for their university official rush week will find out that their options are basically severely limited. And that's because many fraternities are cutting all ties to the campuses, aka disaffiliating with all these old fraternities over what they consider to be overly strict rules. In recent years, fraternities at Duke, West Virginia, the University of Michigan, and Colorado University Boulder have disaffiliated. The latest is that 10 of the universities in the Southern California's 14 official fraternities broke up with Tommy Trojan early this month. They formed their own governing body and put out a statement saying that their partnership with the USC has significantly deteriorated since the school suspended nearly all organized fraternity activities for half the school year. The final deal breaker came when USC announced the first semester freshmen will no longer be allowed to go to the rush fraternities parties. So USC tells a different story of their departure, stating that members are chafing at the procedures and protocols that are designed to prevent sexual assault and drug abuse and deal with the issue of mental health and underage drinking. Experts and students worry that these issues worsen at fraternities and sororities. I'm adding sororities because I don't know why we only focusing on the fraternity that have opted out of the university oversight. And when I say I'm sorry, that's my own little interjection. Read the article for yourself because that wasn't Morning Brew. But I'm going to tell you, Morning Brew is reporting that the issues are worsening at fraternities that have opted out of university oversight. So anyway, let's go on further. Let's continue on to the grab bag of key performance indicators with today's business news. Hot chocolate. Here's a stat for you. For the first time on record, many people in the United States say that they smoke marijuana, weed, more than cigarettes. Say it ain't so. Really? Why isn't this surprising news? A new Gallup poll just showed this. I'm going to give y'all some news that y'all probably didn't know. But anyway, it goes on to say, it's a talk about a dramatic switcheroo in the mid-1950s when they had those smear campaigns and scare tactics brought on by those palm color people. But anyway, 4% say that they took that in 1969. And now we up to 16%. Mm-hmm. Yes, by 4%. We times that by 4. Yeah. In 1969, 4% reported that they toked. But in 2022, times 4 that. 16%. All right. All right. Now that we've set that in there, here's a quote. If it has any buttons on it, I would love to press it. Where did that quote come from? Well, Harvard astronomy professor Avi Loeb is planning a $1.5 million expedition to the ocean floor to retrieve fragments of a meteor that is believed to be from another star system that he surmises might be technology made by aliens. Some astrophysicists aren't sold on his alien life theory, though, with one actually likening the project to dumping all your money into the middle of the goddamn sea. Anyway, what to watch this week? Apparently, I need you to watch the Buckeyes in Notre Dame with me. Go Bucks! Anyway, so what else is brewing in today's news? China's mistreatment of the Uyghur Muslims and other ethnic minorities amounted to serious human rights violations, the UN said yesterday in a highly anticipated report. The hell you doing, China? The Uyghur Muslims? Oh, shoot. Also, what else is brewing? Russia stopped gas flows, y'all, to Europe through a major pipeline for several days beginning yesterday, saying that it has to do maintenance. Now, we have been planning for this, but they really feeling like this is a political situation. But anyway, Crypto.com accidentally sent an Australian customer $7.2 million instead of the $68 refund. And it's trying to get it back, but the customer already bought a house with some of the money. Oh my God! What else is brewing in Morning Brew? South Korea is considering surveying the public about whether members of the BTS group should serve in the military, which is required of most men in the country. I don't know, y'all. We're gonna move right on to we're gonna move fire up the grill this Labor Day weekend and get ready for some seriously hot. Because I'm gonna be talking about some things in my class on Saturday, my free class on how to basically pay no taxes in early retirement and basically how to plan for your retirement like a G, like you really need to, because there's a lot of people who bought into this whole infinite banking system. Anyway, let's go on to CNN Morning Squawk. Let's see what happened at the bell. No, there's 5 things that CNN wanted us to know this morning. Let's see what those 5 things was, because that nightcap was the truth. It says, few of us want the summer to end, but there's some good news coming this winter. Holiday discounts. Major retailers, including Best Buy and Walmart, say that the holiday shopping season will be packed with promotions, basically to entice inflation-strained customers. Here's what else you need to know to get up to speed on with your day. I'm pretty sure that Bed Bath and Beyond and Target gonna be on that great inflation discount situation too. But anyway, number 1 thing that CNN wanted us to know this morning: Ukraine. There's been shelling near the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine, and it has prompted the shutdown of one of its two working reactors. The plant, which was disconnected from the country's power grid last Thursday, has 6 reactors, only 2 of which have been functioning. If the safety system at the facility were to fail, the reactor would heat up swiftly and trigger a meltdown. So, fighting around the complex has basically threatened the possibility of a nuclear accident for months, prompting global concern. So, the shutdown comes as a team of international experts is traveling to the area for a planned inspection of the facility. A Ukrainian official accused Russian troops of trying to disrupt the inspection, calling the shelling the actions of a terrorist state. Number 2 on CNN, what they wanted us to know this morning, Mar-a-Lago. They're saying former President Trump argued in a court filing Wednesday that the classified material found at Mar-a-Lago were presidential records and should not have been a cause for alarm and should not have led to the search of his Florida residence last month. The Justice Department has said that the search was undertaken after the FBI developed evidence that Trump's lawyers had concealed materials after claiming all classified documents had been previously turned over. Meanwhile, Trump's legal team is calling on a government to provide Trump himself with copies of the materials the FBI had actually seized from the search. The federal judge has scheduled a high-stakes hearing for later today to consider Trump's request for a special master or a third-party attorney to review documents that the FBI seized from Mar-a-Lago. Number 3 on CNN, what they think we should know about this morning, COVID-19. The FDA has authorized an updated COVID-19 vaccine booster shot from Moderna and Pfizer. The new boosters, combined with the company's original vaccines with one that specifically targets the BA4 and BA5 Omicron subvariants. This is the first time updated COVID-19 vaccines have received an emergency use authorization in the U.S. Pfizer's updated vaccine is a 30 microgram dose authorized for people aged 12 and over. So Moderna's updated vaccine is a 50 microgram dose authorized for people 18 and older. Once approved by the CDC, the new booster shots could be administered within days to certain populations, including people who have received boosters just a few months ago. So, number 4, CNN wants us to know about air travel. Major U.S. airlines have updated their customer service agreements to offer meals and hotels where flights are canceled. Come on, Buttigieg. That's that Pete. That's that Pete Buttigieg. I know that's Buttigieg. Come on, Democrats. Carriers tweaked their policies after receiving pressure from the Biden administration to step up consumer rights in the wake of a summer plagued by flight cancellations and delays. So, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, JetBlue, and Southwest have all published updates to their customer service policies this week. People, the updates come on the eve of the Labor Day weekend travel rush. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Go Democrats, making that what? The lot. And as airlines have canceled more than 45,000 flights since the start of June, according to data from FlightAware. And number 5 on what CNN wanted us to know this morning before 10:30. China has committed serious human rights violations against the Uyghur Muslims in the northwestern region of Xinjiang, which may amount to crimes against humanity, according to the long-awaited report released Wednesday by the UN. So the detailed 45-page report comes 4 years after the committee of the UN experts basically called attention to, in 2018, to credible reports that more than 1 million Uyghur and other Muslim minority people were interned in extrajudicial camps in Xinjiang for re-education and indoctrination. Human rights groups are calling this a groundbreaking moment in the efforts to hold the Chinese government to motherfucking account. That's ridiculous. Stop it now. China, however, has fiercely denied committing human rights violations. And we believe you win. Oh my goodness. So let's go back. Let's go see what else. Let's see what CNBC had to say today. Let's see what CNBC had to say today. Because they had some things that we needed to know before the bell went off. Now, we're about to check the bell, but they said stocks can't shake it off. CNBC Morning Squawk was saying it's so much for a fresh start in September. U.S. equity markets were primed for another sell-off Thursday morning after closing out August on a losing streak. Things had looked promising for stocks this summer after a terrible first half of the year. Inflation eased, but only a bit, and that has the Federal Reserve ready to hike rates even more. So right now, the Fed's benchmark rate, which I talked about this, and I taught this on my TikTok. Right now, the Fed's benchmark rate is the 2.25% to the 2.5% range. But Cleveland's Fed President Loretta Mester said Wednesday, she sees rates rising significantly higher to over 4%. Nor does she expect the central bank to cut rates next year. The Fed is expecting to hike rates by another 3/4 of a point later this month. Anyway, y'all can read more of that on the CNBC Morning Squawk or the Treasury yield tick higher thing where they got that when they're trying to be ahead of the monthly job report that's coming out. But NVIDIA slips after U.S. clampdown. Shares of NVIDIA fell in off-hour trading, okay? After the chip maker said that U.S. government is restricting sales to China out of concerns that the Chinese military would use the company's products. NVIDIA said it expects to lose about $400 million in revenue from China during the current quarter. The United States has in recent years sought to crack down on China from exploiting U.S.-made technology, though. So last month, President Joe Biden signed a bipartisan bill that was intended to boost America's chip-making sector in a bid to strengthen the country's competitive power in the economic struggle with China. Come on, Biden. Oh, my God. Listen. I'm so sorry. Number 3, warehouse club inflation. Even Sam's Club, Walmart, basically, their warehouse chain isn't immune to this inflation situation. The company said Wednesday that it was raising its entry-level membership fee. So, Sam's Club used to cost about $30, but for Sam's Club, for the first time in 9 years, starting October 17th, members will have to pay $50 a year, up from the $45. Ooh. Warehouse stores have done well of late, as inflation-weary shoppers buy in bulk to save on essential items. But Walmart's decision could put a pressure on this Sam Club rival Costco they got, which charges $60 a year. So your Costco members is like, what? There's only $50? Oh, okay. Yeah. This is what Craig Jelinek told CNBC, that he didn't think it was the right time to hike the club fee or the price it charges for its famously inexpensive hot dogs. But anyway, let's move right along. Number 4 on the CNBC Morning Squawk. Remember, we done did CNN Morning Brew. We did the CNN Nightcap. We did CNN Morning. Now we're doing the CNBC Morning Squawk. And number 4 on the Morning Squawk is that they're also reporting the FDA okays the Omicron variant boosters. And also CNBC was also reporting before the bell that the attacks threatened the Ukraine nuclear plant inspection. So they went on to say that for their number 5 issue thing that they wanted to bring before the bell was that UN inspectors delayed their inspection of Ukraine's nuclear power plant amid nearby fighting between Russian and Ukrainian forces. Yeah, it's stopped, y'all. It's a done deal. They're not going. They're not going. They delayed their inspection. Ukraine's state nuclear power company said that the plant's 5th reactor was also shut down due to this nearby shelling. So the facility is occupied by the Russians, and the Ukrainian officials have accused them of attempting to spoil the investors' visits from day. Anyway, so Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky, who basically was welcoming the UN team Wednesday, has warned that the plan is vulnerable to a nuclear catastrophe as his forces basically seek to beat back Russian President Vladimir Putin invading forces. Yo, this has been today's This has been today's hot chocolate news, which is a combination of my coffee with all that cream. And I usually have about 3 different creams. Like in today's hot chocolate, I really would like to put some nice little coffee in there that I put also 3 different creams in it. Yeah. So, yeah, my hot chocolate is a bit on a different side, but it's got to be really, really good and delicious, period, point blank. So, anyway, let's see. Is there anything else before we let you go? Before I let you go, any news drop? Did any news just drop? All right, we're good. I think we're good. Y'all know I will see something and then just begin to read. So, we're good. So we're going to go ahead and end on that note. Thank y'all for joining another edition of Morning. What? I'm sorry. Another edition of Hot Chocolate News. Yes. Because your girl, the Black Girl Magic Master herself, Shaquila. Hot Chocolate. Make sure that you got that information today. Now, listen, we're going to try this again on tomorrow because I just felt like doing this today. But this is really Hot Chocolate News on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Yeah, that way we can have like some organization and some decency and order. I got a lot of things brewing. So, good morning. I cannot pronounce your name, but you're welcome kindly. All right, love, peace, and hair grease. Yeah. Follow me. Like, share, subscribe. Subscribe. You know how to do it. And then follow me on TikTok. Yeah, that's where I give my free business classes right now. We're focusing on basic accounting principles. Now, I do have classes that will be live streamed that you pay for, which is money mastery classes and how to basically avoid the roadmap to distress in business. But anyway, I got y'all. I'll see y'all in a minute. Love, peace, and hair grease.